but go for it.
Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always. Just anticipating what we are about to start on this show. For those who haven't seen the signs of it, Phil won the wheel spin last week, well, 2 weeks ago, and he chose the dreaded Led Zeppelin bracket. Not dreaded because it's Led Zeppelin, God no. It's a 7-part bracket, though, so we are tackling the 235, well, all 235 Led Zeppelin songs on Spotify. Not top, just all 235. And as I said, this is a Led Zeppelin, this is a Spotify bracket, so that means it will have reference mixes, rough mixes, lives, and everything in between, and then the actual songs, of course. So there is some artists have a lot of this stuff, some have none, but it's Led Zeppelin has a lot of this stuff because it's Led Zeppelin, and they've remixed and remastered those tracks over the last 50, 60 years a lot of times. But
right. Jimmy Page has released the entire catalog probably about 3 or 4 times.
A lot of different types of mixes of this stuff, which I even had to look up what a reference mix is because I had no freaking clue what the hell that meant. But so this will be interesting, and the winner of each section, the winner of each part will face the winner of the next part until we have a grand finale winner somewhere near the end of July at the end of part 7, which 10-1, I guarantee one of the ones when the first part's going to win, but well, I could be surprised. Things have happened in the past that surprised me. So
it's going to be a labor of love. You're going to love it. It's going to go by so fast.
It will. I mean, it's just because time flies, but shit, that's the beginning of next quarter, for God's sake, in business terms. So yeah, not that fast, but
big beautiful
folks, it is. It's not the biggest bracket I've made by far, but it's definitely one of the most interesting.
The Billboard one was longer. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that was 500 songs. Of course, it's longer. But
yeah, you talking about the Rolling Stone 500 or whatever? Yeah,
not the.
I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, it was long. Ask Aaron. He sat through every one and then left the second they were over. But folks, you all know my guests. I'm sure if you watched the show by now, but of course I have my co-host from the Asylum with Harley Quinn and Joker, Miss Harley Quinn herself. And of course I'm being joined by, well, the man who picked this bracket and his wife / co-host, Lisa and Phil from Yaha Podcasts. Well, hello, folks, let's start this because this is going to be. I honestly don't even know which ones I'm going to pick for most of these matchups, so this is going to be interesting. But Harley will get to start us out on this one.
That's a first. I don't ever start it. You should do it reverse and let Phil and Lisa start it.
You know, I was just thinking that actually before I said that. I'm like, it's Phil's bracket, but
yeah, let him start.
Well, yeah. Reverse would be Phil first anyway. So, all right, Phil, you can do the first one.
All right.
It's the lowest ranked out of 235 songs. Number 235 itself, Royal Orleans, the reference mix, going against number 112 ranked, In My Time of Dying, live at the O2 Arena in London.
Well, I like Royal Orleans, and this particular version. There's a lot of speculation about who did the singing because it didn't sound like Robert Plant. It sounded more like RFK or Leon Redbone or something. It's really bizarre. People thought maybe John Bonham sang it or something, but it's really startling to hear. Otherwise, that it was like almost a complete replica of the version that appears on Royal Orleans. I can't remember if it's Led Zeppelin 3 or what, but I'm going to go with I thought the version of
In My Time of Dying.
In My Time of Dying from the O2 show in 2007. I thought that was really energetic. I thought that was their best moment in that show. So I'm going to go with that one.
All right. And Harley, which way do you want to go?
Wouldn't Lisa go before me if we're doing backwards?
No, well, we're not going backwards. We're just starting at the end instead of the front top because Phil gets to start it.
Okay.
ALT.
What were the choices? Sorry, my daughter just messaged me and told me she got proposed to. So.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Congratulations.
So you're kind of gobsmacked.
She say yes?
Yeah, she said yes, but I knew it was coming because I helped pick the ring and everything.
Oh, cool. Hadn't hit me though. So you got a good relationship with him? My cord.
Yeah. Okay. What were the choices, Jeremy?
Royal Orleans reference mix and In My Time of Dying live in London.
Yes. What she said.
I guess we'll go with the New Orleans one.
All right. And which way? Neither of these blew me away. I thought that In My Time of Dying live, anyone who watches my show knows I am not a big fan of live music. It drives me insane. I like going to shows, don't get me wrong, but I am just not a fan of live albums. So I'm like, why the hell would I listen to a live album when I listen to the actual songs? But I don't want to hear the audience hootering and hollering in the back. Like it's usually not good. I think one of the only exceptions I ever had for that is Powerwolf, and I can stand that, but that's basically about it. But this one, and In My Time Dying, this one, it wasn't that great live, honestly. There's some on this playlist that were freaking really good lives, but In My Time of Dying was not one of them. And Royal Orleans was a new song to me. I never heard it before, but I think I'm gonna go with that because even though it was a reference mix, it was still really good, well done, well produced. So I got to go with that one, I guess.
I think I think the whole thing about In My Time of Dying is they had never performed that live before that show, and that was kind of like the little gem of that show that they like the video that they produced for that was really, there were a lot of close-ups and a lot of different angles and stuff.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, if I watched the video, maybe it would be a little different. But at least which way you want to go?
I'm gonna go within My Time of Dying. I liked it better than Orleans. It was a little too Royal Orleans. I don't know. The voice sounded too, digitized, computery to me. So In My Time of Dying. So that leaves us with a tie.
You are correct about the tie part, that's for sure. Which let me bring up the good old coin flip generator here. And since Phil chose this bracket, I am going to let him for any coin flips on this one, since we're even. Phil can pick heads or tails. So heads or tails? Ready? Oh,
tails are dying. So Royal Orleans is off the list.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention about Spotify brackets. Because there's all these different variants of songs, you may see the same song throughout the whole bracket a couple times, as I'm pretty sure there's actually a repeat in this first part already. There's one.
In My Time of Dying, there's another one of those.
Yeah, that is the one, I believe. Maybe another one too, I think. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because I listened to them in alphabetical order.
Interesting. I never would think of doing it that way, even. But that means Harley gets to start the next one off, and it's going to be number 234 ranked For Your Life the reference mix, versus number 111, remaster of Ozone Baby.
I'm going with Ozone Baby.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. For Your Life didn't blow me away, really. I didn't think it was that great a song. Ozone Baby was fun. It was more like a classic rock song than usually Zeppelin sounds like. Usually he sounds like a mix of prog rock and classic rock to me. But
are you referring to Led Zeppelin as a he, Jeremy?
Until I was of a certain age, I actually thought Led Zeppelin was one person.
Okay, all right. Well, he's not.
So I know they're not now.
That's okay. I mean, you know,
as I got older, I figured it all out. I think actually
like
a movie had
your
done that.
14-year-old cousin is now a girl.
Oh,
you might continue saying he for every once in a while.
Oh, no, that hasn't happened in my family. But at least
it happened in ours. They went back recently.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny you say that, because my cousin was dating this guy that I met once at my grandfather's funeral, and then next thing I followed him on Facebook, and next thing I know, I start seeing this female pop up on my Facebook I never seen before, and I'm like, who the hell is this? And I look at the profile for her, and I'm like, oh, okay, like. Never expected this cool ass guy who was a drummer to all of a sudden go through that, but okay,
yeah,
whatever, teach their own. But which way do you want to go on this, Lisa? For Your Life or Ozone Baby?
Ozone Baby, yeah, doo-wop. I found just a little bit doo-woppy in the Ozone Baby, and my response to For Your Life was what, when, why.
Yeah, I mean, For Your Life just it didn't throw me. It was a boring track, but
right.
Well, I hate to tell you guys you're wrong. You're wrong. That song is actually awesome. I love the beat. I love the beat of For Your Life. It's just, it's really it's kind of different. It's different than a lot of things you'd hear on like Led Zeppelin 2 or Led Zeppelin 1. It like represents like a different direction for the band. It shifted a couple of times. So yeah, I'm going to go with, I know you didn't say my name, but I assumed I was next. So I'm going to throw one For Your Life.
I'm pretty sure I did say your name, but okay.
So Ozone Baby moves on.
Yeah, For Your Life gets a pity vote, I guess. But I like the chorus in Ozone Baby. I like the chorus in Ozone Baby.
I want to say this. Philip is a lifelong Led Zeppelin fan. And I also want to say that I did try to listen to it in the traditional manner, i.e. high as a freaking kite. Yeah. And it did fare a little better, but not that much.
Well, Ozone Baby is a song they threw on Coda. And Coda's full of like songs that they would do in concert as sort of like to flesh out the show, just to give length to the show, like old standards. But they never appeared. They were not considered for their albums previously. They were all kind of like, it was after Bonzo died.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of tracks that they had left over. So.
I mean, there's a lot of Led Zeppelin release. I'll tell you that much. But
how many hit songs were released on side B?
That actually happens a lot with other bands too. Like a lot of side B stuff.
That's what I'm saying, just in general.
I mean, it happens to rappers too, where like side B stuff like gets more popular than side A stuff. But that means I get to start off the next one, and it's number 233 ranked Hot Dog, the Rough Mix, going against number 110 ranked Going to California Live in 1972. And I gotta give it to Hot Dog. That was a fun song I never fucking heard of, and Going to California Live was just not that great. It honestly just wasn't amazing. I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I like the actual song, just that live version. There was too many freaking fans yelling and shit in the background. They actually enjoy the song, in my opinion. But which way you want to go, Lisa? Hot dog or going to California?
I'm gonna have to go going to California. I didn't actually hear a lot of background stuff. Maybe I didn't listen to the live version. Right? I just put in remastered, and that's what I heard. So and I didn't care for Hot Dog. It was too much of it was basically a fast two-step to me. So I'm going to California.
And which way do you want to go, Phil?
Well, Hot Dog was another one off Coda. It's another one that, like, I think if you get the Led Zeppelin CD that they released in like 2007, there's a version of it that they played like way back in this footage from like 1969 or something. So it's something that they hung around. They played it live a lot, but it ended up being released. It's kind of got a rockabilly sound to it, and which is great. But it's a good rocker. But I like going to California. I was on Led Zeppelin 4, but not this version, of course. But it's just a beautiful song. I think I forget what Page plays. It almost sounds like a lute or something. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not I don't think he plays a guitar on that.
Mm-hmm.
But going to California.
All right. Which Harley? That means we're either gonna have a tie or going to California is gonna move on. Which way you want to go?
Huh?
Hot dog.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which means we do have a tie. Is Glen coming on, Harley?
He said give him a minute and he's coming.
Oh, cool.
Oh, well, let's wait for Glenn.
No, we'll give him a second. If he doesn't come that fast, then we'll just do a coin flip real fast. But don't need to do that too long. But yeah, I mean, I forget which one it was, but I know the one live in this playlist was so fucking long. It reminded me of one of Aaron's Fish songs, and I was like, oh god. Yeah, I listened to it. I think twice all the way through. But after that, every time it came on, I just skipped it. I'm like, nope, not doing this again to myself. That's way too many guitar solos and way too many just drum solos. Like I don't need this much. I'm good. Like if I was at that concert, I probably would have to be high as a kite to fucking even be entertained by that much soloing.
Did you see Song Remains the Same ever?
No.
Well,
I don't think I did.
It was kind of the band isn't a big fan of it because they use these fantasy sequences in it that are kind of cheesy, where Robert Plant's like a knight and out in the forest, and Jimmy Page is like possessed by the spirit of Aleister Crowley, and it's all this kind of mystic crap. And they don't like, but the video, the concert footage is really the version of Dazed and Confused in that is really good. It's just, I think it's probably even longer than the one that we have here, but I love the guitar solo. I mean, I could do without most of it, but if you just go straight to the guitar solo about 10 minutes into it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad to hear once. I just didn't want to hear it like every day when I was re-listening to this list. But all right, yeah, Phil, tails or heads, Phil?
I'll go tails again.
Oh, it looks like heads prevailed this time.
So going to California is off the list.
Yep, right. Hot dog moves forward. And that means that Lisa gets to start this one. Okay. And it's number 232 ranked. Hot's On for Nowhere, the reference mix, versus number 109 ranked Rock and Roll live at MSG 1973.
Hot's On for Nowhere. It's okay.
So is that the way you're going, or?
Sorry, we lost you there.
I said, is that the way you're going, or are you going to go for Rock and Roll live?
Well, on my list, I got.
I was asking Lisa still. I didn't know if that's one she picked or not.
Oh, Hot Sauna for Nowhere.
Oh, I thought you were saying like that's just okay. I thought there was gonna be a continuation.
Yeah, it is okay. The other one, I liked this one better. I don't even need to talk about rock and roll and MSG.
And Phil, which way you want to go?
I like Hot On for Nowhere. It's groovy.
Yeah,
it's groovy, man.
Yeah, just like the lyrics, I like the sound of it. And Rock and Roll is a great song, and that was the song remains the same version, I believe. But I don't think it's as good as the studio version of Rock and Roll. So Hot On for Nowhere.
And Harley?
I'm going with Rock and Roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid a tiebreaker in this one because Hot On for Nowhere was a really funky, like almost didn't sound like Zeppelin. It didn't sound like Zeppelin. It just sounded like some other bands. Like it could have been freaking maybe even some James Brown type music. But
right. The thing that you didn't like about it is what I loved about it. I loved it. Funky was actually the word I was looking for. So.
Oh no, I like that. I like the fact that it was like that. It was almost like it wasn't Zeppelin. That was the fun part.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, in Rock and Roll, I'm like Phil. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that song to begin with, but I prefer the studio version by far. But it wasn't a bad live version, honestly. It was short and it was kept to the point. Not a lot of audience background noise, so I didn't mind it. But yeah, I'll definitely go Hot On for Nowhere.
Okay.
But that means we're back to Phil to start the next matchup, and this is going to be number 231 ranked, the epic Carousel Umbra Rough Mix versus number 108 ranked When the Levee Breaks, the alternate UK mix in progress.
14 and 16. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of In Through the Outdoor. That's the album that Carousel Umbra was on. Even though this is a different version, I just felt like, the story is that Jimmy Page was kind of in the midst of his heroin struggles, and the band, a lot of it was left up to John Paul Jones as far as the studio work and stuff, and you can hear that. And I'm going to go with When the Levee Breaks. For that reason, right. I'm not a huge, that's an okay cut, but it just wins by default or wins by process of elimination, I guess.
Hey, well, I'm going to go with the epic because at least it had words.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it was Harley's choice, but okay, that works. Which way you want to go, Harley?
What Lisa picked.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I actually have never heard the epic Carousel Umbra, but that actually might be my favorite song off this playlist. Honestly, it was like almost as a juggalo. As a juggalo, it had like that circus theme to it in the beginning, kind of. So that carnival theme. So I kind of liked it. It was fun. It was a fun freaking song. And I never really liked When the Levee Breaks. I always kind of, I don't know. It's just one of those songs that always kind of got my nerves. I don't know why, but maybe I'll find a version of it I like. That wasn't the version I like, though. But that means that Harley gets to start the next one. And it's number 230 ranked, Blot, I'm Gonna Crawl, the Rough Mix. Or number 107 ranked, Rock and Roll, the Sunset Sound Mix.
Oh, yeah. Now here we are.
I'm going with Rock and Roll, the Sun Mix, that one.
And I did like that version of Rock and Roll. I couldn't really pick out the real differences between that and the original version. Like I couldn't really hear that many differences. But Blot, I'm Gonna Crawl is a song I never heard before, and that is a weird song. That's a fun song, but it's a weird song. But I like the guitar in the beginning of it a lot, so I gotta go with Blot. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
These both actually ranked high for me, I liked the bluesiness of Blot, but I listened, like I said, I listened to them in alphabetical order, so I listened to the rock and roll songs together. And compared to the other one, which got a 5, this one got a 9 out of 10. So rock and roll Sunset Sound mix, solid 9.
And Phil, which way you want to go?
Rock and roll.
I said Phil, but
sorry. We're kind of
I had I'm going to crawl the lowest ranked song on this bracket. So, and I thought that the rock and roll Sunset Sound mix sounded sharper, sounded cleaner than the Song Remains the Same version. I really, it's amazing what production values can do. I was a little underwhelmed by the Song Remains the Same version. I thought this is much more representative.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Which means we do not need a coin flip, folks, because rock and roll will move on. But that means the next matchup is going to get started off by me, I believe. Yeah. And it's going to be number 229 ranked Southbound Piano, the Southbound Suarez Rough Mix, versus number 106, the Battle of Evermore, the mandolin guitar mix from Headley Garage. And Southbound Piano was okay. It didn't thrill me, didn't fascinate me too much. But the Battle of Evermore, I always have liked that song, and I love any good rock song with mandolin in it. So there's a band, I know a couple bands that use mandolins regularly, and freaking it's amazing when done right with rock. So I got to go with the Battle of Evermore. I always liked Led Zeppelin's fantasy rock a little bit more than the rest of his stuff, their stuff. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing that, folks, for the next 7 weeks. So get ready. But Lisa, which way you want to go?
The Battle of Evermore. I mean, like you say, it's got that medieval thing. It does remind me of who's that guy that men like that women are like, why?
He's not a guy either, but Jethro Tull.
Yeah, Jethro Tull. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there you are. I thought Jethro Tull was a person.
Yeah.
I think I did too at one point in my life, but
yeah. Okay. So the Battle of Evermore. Yeah,
I kind of feel like Styx kind of heard the Battle of Evermore and they became a band because of that song. I feel like that's in history somewhere in rock. But Phil, which way you want to go?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Headley Grange was this place where Page and Plant went and wrote most of Led Zeppelin 4, including this song. So to me, it's got quite a mystique about it. It sounds, the mandolin sounds great. It's psychedelic. It's creepy in the best sense of the word. It's kind of, this was when Page was dabbling in black magic and Aleister Crowley and all that shit. So that's always been interesting to me. So Battle of Evermore.
15 minutes.
15 minutes later.
Just kidding.
And Harley, even though we have a winner, which way would you have gone?
Yep.
Well, folks, we have our first sweep of the night. Almost all the way through the first half of round 1. We were the first sweep. Good song for her to go off of, though. But that means that Lisa gets to start off the play-in for this side of the matchup, where to see who's going to face off in the last matchup of this side, round 1. And the 2 songs you got, Lisa, are number 227 ranked, 10 Ribs in All / Carrot Pod, the reference mix. And it's going against number 105 ranked, Since I've Been Loving You, from January 4th, 1971 Paris Theater show.
Since I've been loving you. My winner, hands down.
All right. And Phil?
For whatever reason, I've never been a huge fan of like their most pure blues songs, like Since I've Been Loving You and T for One on Presence. I don't know why, because they're like the blues is essential to Led Zeppelin. So I still had Since I've Been Loving You ranked pretty high, but I'm going to go with, I never heard 10 ribs in all, carrot pod reference. I've never heard that before. And it was a good showcase for Bonzo and John Paul Jones, I thought. It gave them a lot of exposure, where most of these tracks feature Jimmy's guitar work. So I'm going to go with that.
And Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta agree. Since I've been loving you it's all right. It's not great, and a live bit I'm really good on. I kind of almost I had to listen to it for a second just now because I was like, "What the hell song is that again?" Because that's how memorable it is. But yeah, just the name of 10 ribs and all carrot pod had me intrigued from the minute I saw the name. And it kind of almost reminds me of an Elton John song and like an Elton John like naming. Like it reminds me of something he would do. So I liked it. I had to go with that one. But that means that Phil gets to start the last matchup in this side of round one. And 10 ribs and all carrot pod to third pod will be facing number 228, Walter's Walk, the rough mix.
Walter's Walk. So that's a tough one. Seems like the riff from I'd never heard this version of Walter's Walk before, but it's another one of those another one of those songs that I don't know if Walter's Walk appeared on Coda or a different album, but one that they did live a lot. But I thought this was interesting because the riff from Hot's On For Nowhere is actually embedded in this version. I thought that was Walter's Walk. Yeah, I thought that was cool. But I'm going to hang in there with 10 ribs and all.
All right. And Harley, which way you want to go?
Hold on, we're having some sound issues still. Okay.
What were the options?
10 ribs and all / carrot pod or Walter's Walk rough mix.
10 ribs and all. I'm stepping away a second. My kids turned off the lights to my room.
Okay.
Hashtag FTK. Fuck them kids. But not in a P. Diddy way, please. But that me I see. I gotta give my vote to Walter's Walk. That opening guitar riff in that is fucking phenomenal. So that every time that song came on, I was rocking out to it. So I gotta go with Walter's Walk. Which way you want to go, Lisa?
I gotta go ribs and all.
Ooh, which means Walter's Walk takes a walk. And
yeah,
10 ribs.
Yeah, Walter's Walk was a rough mix for me. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was I thought it was a good freaking guitar riff in the beginning of it, but
yeah, I don't care for guitar riffs.
Yeah, that's metal, baby. That's the beginning of metal. But
that's not my fault.
But that means that Harley gets to start off the first matchup in the second half of round one, and it's going to be Harley number 172 ranked. If it keeps on raining, the rough mix, or number 56 ranked, Four Sticks.
I'm going with Force Fixed.
And actually, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no. Oh, so far, Four Sticks is the first original song version we actually had in this bracket. But, which I guess it's actually no, there'll be some of the other side probably that are higher, lower ranked than that. But that means, yeah, I gotta go with Four Sticks as well. I don't like if it keeps on raining. It's too slow and boring for me. Four Sticks was entertaining at least, and it was pretty fast tempo. I liked it a little bit. Wouldn't say either. I could easily vote either of these out next round. That's for damn sure. But Phil, which way? I mean, sorry, not Phil. Lisa, which way you want to go?
I gotta go with It Keeps on Raining.
funny enough, it's been raining here all fucking week. So every time the song came on, it was raining. So it's like, I'm like, come the fuck on. Maybe that's why I have such a problem with it. But which way do you want to go, Phil? Is it going to be a tie breaking situation or not?
Yeah, it's going to be a tiebreaker because I had never heard this version when the levee breaks, but
it keeps on raining. You mean?
I really liked how different it was. The John Paul Jones intro. It was kind of off tempo from the one that appeared on Led Zeppelin 3.
You realize it's if it keeps on raining, not when the levee breaks.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure before you voted, but
it's part. It's the same song. It's the same song. So.
And our tiebreakers here apparently.
A lot of them were the same song.
No, I have arrived.
All right.
Hello, Glen.
Our tiebreakers. Well, Glenn, good timing because that means I don't have to do a coin flip for this one.
And, no, really. Yeah,
me and Glenn are starting our own show too.
Oh yeah, we are actually a reaction video show. So yeah, check that out. Well, I heard backstage it was 4 sticks and something else, and I know 4 sticks is impressive because that's one of the first times you see a drummer that's actually using 2 sets of drumsticks in each hand. That's
oh.
So, for creativity purposes, I kind of like 4 sticks because I'm not sure of any other drummers that have ever accomplished that feat. Maybe Phil Collins, but I'm not 100%. So I'm going to go with 4 sticks for that reason alone.
Okay.
So that
moves on.
All right. And just so you know, Glenn, the other song was "If It Keeps on Raining," the rough mix.
That's kind of slow too. So.
Yeah. Well, that means that. Well, Harley started that last one off, so I'll let Glenn start this one off since he just came in, and it's number 171. It's number 171 ranked. Everybody Makes It Through, In the Light, the early version / In Transit, and it's going against number 55 ranked, The Immigrant Song, the alternate mix.
I'm not familiar with the alternate mix, but I do actually like the Immigrant Song. That was one of the very first vinyls that I had. So I'm not sure what the alternate mix is, but I do like the Immigrant
completely different guitar. Completely different guitar in the beginning.
Yeah. Really? Okay. Well, I still got to go with the Immigrant Song because that was really one. I had this old wooden, it was like, I don't know, oak or something with 2 speakers and a turntable on top and it flipped down. Yeah, I'm showing my age.
My grandparents had that too. They put the TV
hey,
on
look,
it.
Am I allowed to cuss here?
Yeah.
All right, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't want to around you. But no, seriously, that was one of the very first vinyls I had, and I had to sneak it because I wasn't. My dad was a country and western DJ, so I wasn't allowed to listen to rock and roll. So,
okay, I'm just gonna say it here, Glenn. I was born in '66. Am I still the oldest person?
Nah, 67. So yeah, you got me by a year.
Damn. And by the way, we had the console. We had the console thing. In fact, I was 7 when we got a color TV.
I mean, the long record player where you get
the long thing with the giant. It had the place for records, and then it had the speakers, and then it had the record player, and you could close it on top.
Yes. One of my biggest regrets in life. Shiny here for a moment. When we had to move out of our house in Tennessee, our first house in Tennessee, suddenly I had inherited my grandmother's RCA, and it had quad speakers. It had 2 speakers on each side, and then it had a center speaker under a TV, color TV, and it had the little track for the albums, and the album thing was on the side, and the other side had an AM/FM radio where you could flip it up. Biggest regret, the thing was so damn heavy, I couldn't get enough people to get it out of the house, and so unfortunately it went with the house. Yeah. And I'm sure it's worth a lot of money now, but yeah, and it was the first color TV too. RCA. Yeah. So, all right, sorry, I was showing my age there. So.
I think ours might have been an RCA, but if you want to feel a little bit younger, my grandmother had a Victrola. You know.
Oh yeah. I've seen them, but never actually had one. Yeah, or worked
Yeah.
one.
I've actually used one.
Ah, well, you got me on that one. So,
But my grandmother also had an entire room encased in bookcases with books on them.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so she really was a reader, not a music person.
Jeremy Harley, I'm
Harley,
sorry the old people have taken over your show. So
apparently, but
Gramps
Harley,
is in charge.
I'll just stop here and just listen.
well,
youngins don't know what you're talking about.
You just put
whippersnappers.
Just put the new TV on top of the old TV.
That's exactly what. Yeah, and
Yep.
his parents, when we got married in 1994.
Yes.
Yeah,
like
in 1994,
okay.
his parents still had a dial phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had those in the 90s when I was a kid. And we had it until like the early 2000s, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But Harley, is it Everybody Makes It Through in the Light or the Immigrant Song?
The Immigrant Song.
I am gonna disagree. I do not like the alternate version of the Immigrant Song. It doesn't have that like get you pumped fucking like guitar and drum combo. It has like it just kind of like downplays it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I want the fucking Thor. I want the Thor Ragnarok, like Thor walking out to that shit. Like that's the Immigrant Song I fucking love.
Wasn't that in
Even
Shrek?
Maybe I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have recollection of that. But I prefer the Demon and Wizards version over Led Zeppelin. But that's it. I get shit for that all the time. But Everybody Makes It Through in the Light was like a very fantasy, like fantastic song. Like it had like that, like almost like a sound like a lute almost in it, like playing with it. It was good. I liked it. It was kind of like creepy in a way too, in a good way. But I like that shit. It's like if Marilyn Manson performed in the 60s, I guess is the best way to put it. But which way do you want to go, Lisa?
Exactly the opposite. I like the Immigrant Song because it wasn't slamming me to the floor. And I did not care for Everybody Makes It Through because of the loopiness. So I'm going with the Immigrant.
And Phil, which way would you have gone, even though Immigrant Song's moving on?
Well, I've got to speak my piece because I love the version of In the Light that's on Presence because I love the foghorn that, introduced, and it's got really atmospheric, and that's missing from this version. Of course, you could argue there are two different songs, but this song it was reimagined as In the Light on Presence. And I just like that version. I love that version so much that this one had a lot to live up to. And I did like the Immigrant Song version. And a lot, the outro was great. The outro, I think the Immigrant Song that appeared on Led Zeppelin 3 ends suddenly. And this has a guitar outro that I really, really liked. But yeah, so the Immigrant Song was like an early cut, like a single that they really pushed. If you get How the West Was Won, I think there's like 5 versions of the Immigrant Song on it. So they played it all the time.
Oh God, yeah. Trust me, it's it's in this bracket 5 different ways. So yeah, 100%.
So I'm going with the Immigrant Song.
That makes sense.
Long story short.
Yeah. Too late.
But okay, that means that
it mattered.
Yeah.
It's all good. And that means that I start the next matchup, and it's number 170 ranked The Rain Song, the mix minus piano, versus number 54 ranked The Girl I Love, She Got Long Black Wavy Hair, live on Tasty Pop Sunday from the BBC sessions. Which I'm not gonna lie, I know what the hell they actually mean, but every time I see BBC sessions, I'm just like, sounds like a porn. But okay, but I know what they actually mean. I mean, I'm a Hovian, so I love BBC, but and not that way, folks. I do not want to see a fucking clip of this anymore. I swear to God. But I gotta go with The Girl I Love. She got long black wavy hair. The Rain song, maybe the piano missing is why it doesn't like sink in my head to be a good song. But I don't know. I just couldn't. I didn't like that version of it. If I like it at all, I don't. I haven't heard the real version of it yet. So, but The Girl I Love, that's a good song, and live, that was a good live of it. So I'll take it. But which way do you want to go, Lisa?
Definitely the Rain song. I liked the melody in that.
And Phil?
That's it.
All right, so I'm assuming I'm going to go with the Rain song also. I think it's just a beautiful song, but I did like the Girl I Love. I love that because it came out. I forget what year it was, but it was released long after the band was over, and it was good. And it was like old Zeppelin too. It wasn't like Into the Outdoor, and it was. I'm gonna go with the Rain song.
I mean, I'm assuming that Tasty Pop Sunday is that show that BBC did back in the 70s or something, where they had basically American Bandstand. But which way you want to go, Glenn?
Well, I would go with the Rain song because it was actually a shot across the bow to the Beatles. So they were making a statement to them. So I think it was one of the first important things because the Beatles really dissed them if you did any of the history. So that was the first shot across the bow with Zeppelin. So yeah.
So they were responding to what the Beatles Rain or whatever.
The Beatles were saying that none of the Zeppelin songs had any lyrics or any depth to them. And so he wrote this specifically to George Harrison, and George Harrison received a copy of it certified before the lyrics before it went to press or at that time to Playtime.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's why I think because don't ask me how I know this weird trivia, but yeah, it was a shot across the bow to the Beatles. Are like, yeah, we got depth. We got more than just playing some guitars. So
whoa, wait a minute. The Beatles are trying to say another band doesn't have depth. The band that wrote "She loves me, yeah, she loves me." Let's say it 20 more times in a row, and that's a song. Like, you kidding me?
Come on. After which one of them died? Paul. After Paul died, they got more in depth with trying to hide things in there about Paul. So
Paul. You mean when Paul got replaced? Yeah.
When he got replaced. Yeah, supposedly.
He didn't die. He was abducted by aliens. Come on now.
He's with Elvis.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's amazing that the false Paul's the one who wrote "Hey Jude," right? I mean, they were fortunate enough to find someone that was more talented than the original and looked just like him.
Yeah. And actually, that's my least favorite Beatles song is "Hey Jude." So
it's one of my favorites because it was for Julian Lennon.
I'm a John guy.
Yeah.
Well,
not.
The story behind it is my dad, like I said, he was a DJ, so they're also known as whores. And he left my mom for a lady named Judy, and during his country and western show, he would play "Hey Jude" and dedicate it to mom during the divorce. So that song was banned in my house.
Well, there you are.
Special meaning there.
And for me, it's about somebody stepping up to be a dad to a kid who was abandoned by his father.
Shocker. I was 3.
And Harley.
Are you abandoned?
Even though we have a winner, Harley, which way do you want to go?
The Rain song.
Jesus, I am on my own today. I'm on an island today with this fucking shit. I swear to God. I think I like different Zeppelin shit than most people do. But
you're just kind of weird.
And I usually like stuff that doesn't sound like Zeppelin.
Well, this was competitive, though. This was a tough one for me.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll give it. Yeah.
Oh, it's only going to get harder in the next 6 parts when we get to actual songs, but the actual real songs. But this matchup gets started off by Lisa, and it's number 169 ranked. What is and what should never be live from 1972, or number 53 ranked Friends.
Friends.
Oh, that was fast.
I found what is and what should never be to be, and I quote myself, shouty.
Shouty.
And I found Friends to have good music. So Friends. Hun? You're up.
And Phil, which way you want to go?
Sound. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't think it was the best mix of what is and what should never be. That's a great song off Led Zeppelin 2, but I just didn't. I had these songs actually even in ranking, but I'm going to give the nudge to Friends. Great drumming. There's Bonzo's drumming, and that was really good. It proved that you didn't have to be banging the drums as hard as possible
to get something decent.
Yeah.
And which way you want to go, Glenn?
I am going to say the same thing, Friends. Like you said, it's close, but this, I think, had more depth to it. So, yeah, I'm with him.
Jesus. I swear to God, I'm on the fucking island today. But, Harley, which way you want to go?
The one that's not Friends.
Oh, well, there you are.
I'm not on the island alone.
No,
I don't have to get a volleyball. Thank you, God. But yeah. I didn't like Friends. I thought it was boring. Just like the TV show, I thought it was boring. But
I'm with you on that. I didn't like the TV show.
I hate the TV show. It's a racist TV show. But they're in New York City and they don't show one goddamn black person or person of color. What the fuck?
They all look like they were from Central Casting. They're all the most handsome and beautiful people that they had on.
If you
want to pointed and then said "and you" to Ross.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want the better version of Friends, watch How I Met Your Mother. But I have to go with what is and what should never be. That I like that song. I never heard any version of that song, and I actually really like that song. I thought it was very, very well put together, and I love Plant's voice on it. It's freaking perfect.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
The version on Led Zeppelin 2 also.
Well, trust me, I'm sure there's more versions. Okay, just because I want to keep doing this. What? Yes, there are 6 versions of what is and what should never be on this. So, between lives and mixes and all that good stuff. So, and see, that's the fun part about putting these playlists together for these Spotify brackets. I have to go back and forth to the links for the actual freaking songs on the list and make sure I have the right album. Make sure I have the right fucking track perfectly. It can be a pain in the ass. Some of them. So, some bands like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds was easy to make because it was only most songs only had 2 versions at most. So, but bands like Zeppelin are just oh my God. That's why I started doing top hundreds only. I started doing top hundreds only for bands I didn't think deserved the full discography. But Zeppelin definitely deserved the full discography, so I wasn't going to go back on that. But
I don't know.
And it was only 235 instead of
3,000.
500. But no, they only go up to 500. I got a 500 song Elvis bracket and a 500 song Prince bracket. Those are the only 2 I would go to 500 on. Well,
I'm going to pick Elvis. Another shot.
Wait till Chanty comes back for that one. but all right. The next matchup gets started off by Phil, and actually I'm excited because this is something I talked about earlier. Phil, it's number 168 ranked, Dazed and Confused, live from 1972, versus number 52 ranked, Out on the Tiles.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I felt like the best thing, the really only perfect thing or really good thing that came out of The Song Remains the Same was the version of Dazed Confused that they played there. The band themselves said that it was a bad night or bad couple nights or whatever. But the guitar solo in the middle of that blows away. I've got a few versions of Dazed. I got some bootlegs and I've listened to this and it's okay. But I would start, my mind would start drifting too with this version if I was, at the show. But I'm going to pick it because I like it better than Out on the Tiles.
And Glenn, which way you want to go? And just so you know, Glenn, I know you didn't. I sent you the playlist a couple days ago, but you didn't. I'm guessing you didn't see it. But
No,
This
I've had
this
a lot going on.
this Dazed and Confused version is like 15 minutes long.
Well, that is one of the reasons I like it. And if you were a DJ, that's a great song to play if you got to go take a dump. Just back before the automations, you know, when you had carts and vinyl and stuff. So
as long as it starts skipping on you.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, folks. I had some Taco Bell earlier. Here's a 30-minute Grateful Dead riff.
I went for it for that reason.
And Harley, which way you want to go?
The other one that's not Dazed and Confused.
Out on the Tiles?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to freaking agree with that because I love Dazed and Confused is one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs of all time. The soul of a woman was created below is one of the greatest lines of all time. So, and the delivery of that line is one of the best deliveries of a song line of all time. But that live version, oh my God. I heard the 3 lines I like to hear in the beginning, and then it just was 15 minutes of guitar riffing and freaking drum solos. Like, I'm so good. I listened to it twice and almost fell asleep. I'm like, I started thinking about other things. Like, I'm like, this is so not good. But Out on the Tiles is actually a fun song. I'm assuming it's a song about being passed out drunk. I can't imagine what else to be about. But it was a great music and great singing. So fuck it, Out on the Tiles. Lisa, you're the tiebreaker for the first time. Which way you want to go?
I gotta go Dazed and Confused. I liked it better when I listened to it. The part that I only listened to like the first 3 minutes, so to be honest. Because I have very little guitar riff
tolerance,
yeah.
I mean, there literally was like, I think 3 minutes.
It messes with my ADHD completely.
Exactly.
And like after the first little bit of it, I'm done because I can't stay focused to how long it is.
Right.
I mean,
and when I saw how many minutes it was, I was like, I'm going to sample this bitch.
I mean, I think there's literally 3 minutes in the middle where it's just like the drummer fucking hitting the drum and being like, yeah, and then doing it again for like fucking 3 minutes straight. Like it's like what?
I get really annoyed by really long songs.
Didn't Aerosmith do either a cover or an intro to that or something? It kind of makes me think that they did something like with the beginning of the song. I can't remember what.
Probably.
But yeah, I think Aerosmith may have like copied it and put it like copy and pasted in their song. I don't know. I'd have to Google that one. So, but
well, they both did. Aerosmith and Zeppelin both did "Train Kept a Rolling." Maybe I think that might have actually. Zeppelin never recorded "Train Kept a Rolling," but I think they played it live. They were fulfilling. Oh, is it on? Is it on this somewhere?
No, it's not on this bracket. No.
Okay.
But I searched it real fast to make sure. But well, that means that Glen gets to start off the next matchup, and it's number 167 ranked "Good Times, Bad Times" / Communication Breakdown live from Paris in 1969 versus number 51 ranked the 1990 remaster of "Your Time Is Gonna Come."
Ooh, the remaster was good, but oh man. That's a tough one. I almost got to flip a coin on that because the remix was so good, but it's not the original, man. I'm going to go with the remix. I'm sorry. Just because it's the
remaster.
The remaster. Sorry. Yeah. It's got such a clear sound and now I got to go with the remaster. Just because of that. But then again, you don't get the infidelity of the vinyl, but I don't think you get that with MP3 now anyhow, so
yeah.
And Harley, which way you want to go?
The remaster.
Sure. And I'm gonna have to 100% agree with both of you because I like Good Times, Bad Times is a good song. Communication Breakdown is a good song. Just that live, like it's barely Good Times, Bad Times. It's mostly Communication Breakdown, and I just wasn't. I mean, it was a good live. I'm not gonna lie. If it was up against a lot of other songs in this, I probably would have picked it. But Your Time Is Gonna Come. I like it, and then like when they get to like the almost like the church choir part at the end, like it's freaking really good. So I gotta go. Your Time's Gonna Come. But that means Your Time's Gonna Come is taking this one. But which way would you have gone, Lisa?
I actually, I had a problem with Your Time Is Gonna Come because of the like slut shaminess. So that's the way it came across to me, lyrically speaking. Also, it was very churchy, and I always loved churchy. So I good times, bad times.
I didn't get the slut shaming part. I got the like you did me wrong, so you're going to get your karma for it. But I didn't get the slut shaming. But
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe
everybody sees things differently. So I mean,
Right.
different eyes. But Bill, which way would you have gone?
This one is a tough one for me. I do love Your Time Is Going to Come. I like the the organ music, the irony of the sounds of the church juxtaposed against this sordid kind of love affair or whatever. But I love that. But I just feel like that this version of Good Times, Bad Times, Communication Breakdown, I feel like that was probably the band at its best. It's Paris, 1969. They're fresh. They're just finding out how great they can be. I just think it's a great example of frozen in time of how great they were.
I mean, that same year as Woodstock, so yeah. But
yeah.
Your Time Is Gonna Come does move on because it's. I don't know, and there's a performance I've seen where I think it's Robert Plant in the audience, and it's Stevie Nicks with like a full church choir doing Stairway to Heaven, and Zeppelin songs really lend themselves to having church choirs in the background. A lot of the songs really do. Like they're just freaking amazing with the full choir background. And plus Stevie Nicks doing the lead vocals in that song is fucking phenomenal. But that
Anything
means
with Stevie Nicks in it is phenomenal.
I found that out recently, folks. If you didn't see the live, be sure to check out the episode coming out of Maniacal Music Musings where we talk about Rumors. So
that is my favorite album.
Yeah, well, we had a country star bring it on, so
y'all's gonna lose my attention in like 30 minutes.
Why? Wrestling?
Yep. John Cena's gonna lose tonight. Randy Orton's gonna stomp his ass.
Oh,
we'll see. For
reals.
I mean, but then again, with Men in Tights, there's a lot of.
He is called the Legend Killer for a reason.
Yeah, it's an old rivalry though, and they're not gonna fucking let it end at a mediocre pay-per-view like fucking.
Well, John Cena's retiring anyways. This is like he only has a few more matches left.
This is wrestling. They'll extend that shit to like SummerSlam.
They'll never retire. Even Hulk Hogan will come out and wrestle at some point.
Every once in a while.
Walker, Jesus Christ!
I'm pretty sure Hogan is never.
Last time he came out here recently, Hulk Hogan did. They booed him off stage.
Yeah. That's because of his affiliation and the fact that he forced his beer on the stadium.
And that's because of his affiliation with his daughter. But yeah, we all know this. We all know Hulk Hogan's stories. But
I'm not an active wrestling fan, but I can speak to wrestling if you guys do some wrestling shows. I have been in the past.
We actually might be doing a 15-part WWE
theme song
bracket on Asylum at some point. It's 15 parts, so it's gonna be a lot of points. But it's a Spotify bracket, so it's got a lot of repeats, especially
Gorgeous George and
it hits on wrestlers from the 80s to current, but it's 80s to current, but I mean some of the older ones are lacking a lot because Spotify doesn't have them. Rights or what have you, I don't fucking know. But
you should invite my co-host Amanda for that. She's a retired professional wrestler. She was WWE, so yeah.
Oh, nice.
That'd be awesome to have her on the show for that.
She'd probably
you guys can have Philip.
But there's probably this for it. there's playlists for it, Lisa, so you can listen. But the next matchup is going to start off by Harley, and it's number 166 ranked Moby Dick live at MSG 1973, or number 50 ranked In My Time of Dying.
I'm going with Moby Dick because, well,
How did I know? How did I fucking know that was going to be the answer? But I will go with this version of In My Time of Dying. This version of In My Time of Dying, I freaking like. And is it the hell? That's not what I typed. Oh, damn it. Freaking In My. Oh, okay. There's 5 versions of that song too on this, but actually, I'm sorry, 4 versions of it on this bracket. So, but that is the original version, so I'll go with that. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
Yep.
And Phil?
Were you saying yup to which Moby Dick?
No.
In my time of dying.
In my time of dying,
okay.
I said yep.
Okay. My bad. I'm not trying to confuse anybody here.
And yeah.
One time when I was a kid, I came home from school. I put on
A song.
Presents or no In Through the Outdoor Present. No.
An album.
Anyway, I put this song on, and it was about towards the end of the song during the guitar solos, and where it really heats up towards the end of the song. I was nodding off, and I was woken up by this voice that was saying, "I need a doctor. I need a doctor. I need a doctor," and it fucking freaked me out. I just fucking woke up. It's like Robert Plant wasn't even singing. It was just during the guitar solo. So I I'm not scared about that. It endears me to that song, just that moment. So that's my top ranked song on the bracket, In My Time of Dying.
Which means it's moving on, but which way would you have gone, Glenn?
Well, I would like the Dick. One of the few songs when you said go to sleep, that during the lengthy drum solos, audience members would sometimes doze off and piss off the band.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the live version of Moby Dick. I never heard the real version, but
did you ever hear Bonzo's mantra from Coda?
No.
That's so much of a better drum solo than Moby Dick is. I mean, it holds your attention. He gets the drums. It sounds like a melody. I mean, he really
I will say there are
solo is an instrument solo.
There are 5 versions of Moby Dick in this bracket as well. So yeah.
So but opportunity to hear that.
Well, Bonzo's mantra was put together from like 5 or 6 different recording sessions, though it wasn't one live session.
There's a rough version, there's the real version, there's a lot of versions. But that means the final matchup in round 1 is going to get started off by by me. Okay. And it's this is easy. It's number 165 ranked Whole Lotta Love medley from January 4th, 1971 Paris Theater, or number 49 ranked Dancing Days, and that medley was fucking garbage and long as shit. So I gotta go with Dancing Days. I thought Dancing Days was a really good song, so I freaking enjoyed the hell out of it. But which way do you want to go, Lisa?
I agree. My response to Whole Lotta Love is, does she need you? And the answer for me was no. So Dancing Days, baby.
Yeah, the guitar in Dancing Days is really memorable. Like I fucking love that riff. That's amazing. Yeah. So I gotta go with that one. That's why I had to go with that one. But which way do you want to go, Phil?
Physical Graffiti was the album I was trying to think of before.
Okay.
Anyway, I disagree with you on the Whole Lotta Love medley. I really liked it. It was a jam. That maybe
that's the problem.
That might be a problem for some people, but
there's a reason I don't like Fish and the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I get it. It's not for everybody, but I like the way whenever they perform this song, they always bring it back. At some point, you're going to hear that guitar solo right in the middle of the song. That's so recognizable. It's iconic. So I'm going to go with that. I do like Dancing Days. No problem with that song at all. But
And Glenn, which way you want to go?
Whole Lot of Love. You were talking about the guitar lyrics. That's voted, I think, like number 2 by the BBC for greatest ever. So yeah, Whole Lot of Love. I like the other song, but I like the riff. I'm with him. I like the riff.
Well, it's if it was the original version, Glenn, I might have a different opinion. But this version is a live version, and it's but
that's where they're notorious for going off scripts, basically.
right.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of bands back then did, but yeah.
Drugs.
But Harley, which way you want to go? You have the tiebreaker, and you have the tie.
The other one that's not the Whole Lot of Love.
Which means Dancing Days moves on, and we will actually have 2 OG versions of songs facing each other in the next round. And that means that round 1 is officially over. And this took a little bit longer than I thought it would for round 1, but it's Led Zeppelin, so there should be some discussion.
Well,
and plus, we did
going with fun facts,
Yeah, fun
stories,
facts.
I mean, oh yeah, I was gonna say we did take a stop off at a commercial break for the retirement home, but
easy. Grandpa will get his walker and come after you.
I'm pretty sure I'll beat the walker, but well, unless it's Herbert chasing a child, then God no. But that means that this first matchup in round 2 gets started off by Lisa, and it's In My Time of Dying live at the O2 Arena in London versus Ozone Baby, the remaster.
Okay. In My Time of Dying live.
And Phil?
Yeah, Lisa and I went and saw that at the theater. It was released, the O2
movie
reunion. There was a lottery, like 1 million people submitted for tickets to get
to that concert.
But they mostly went to celebrities, it looked like. Most of those.
Yeah.
But I love that version. I don't know what people were thinking. I mean, that it was really energetic for 4 old guys up there. They did a good job on that song. So
okay.
In My Time.
Well, it's like on South Park when they bring out freaking Rod Stewart. He's in a wheelchair, and he's just like,
like
I pooped my pants.
Have you seen? I don't know if they're still. I have no idea what the quality of the music is, but man, they look really advanced in age these days.
But which way do you want to go, Glenn?
In My Time of Dying.
Oh God! And that means In My Time of Dying live moves on. But which way would you have gone, Harley?
The other one.
I know, right?
And I'm just gonna say right here, I'm gonna say, geezers win. Geezers win.
I think that's probably why this song made it. These young people just don't get it.
I mean,
exactly.
I almost feel like Ozone Baby was almost a hit at the Beatles too. Cause it kind of sounded like like the way they sing their song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the whole, but the guitar was better than any Beatles guitar I ever heard. Like, down, the freaking chorus though was what sound like the Beatles. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. But next matchup will get started off by Phil, and it's Hot Dog, the rough mix, versus Hot's On For Nowhere, the reference mix.
Yeah, I like Hot's On For Nowhere. Hot Dog, it's okay. It's a track that appeared on Coda. It's okay. But Hot's On For Nowhere.
All right. And which way you want to go, Glenn? Hot's On For Nowhere or Hot Dog?
I think I'm going to go with Hot Dog.
I don't know, Glenn. First you want some Moby Dick, then you want a hot dog. I'm starting to have questions about you. But
as long as you don't cross streams. So
no crossing swords. But why is my And my mouse stopped working. What the freak? Oh.
Hey, Glenn, how's your head?
What's that?
How's your head?
I don't get any, so I wouldn't know.
Why the hell? All right, my mouse stopped working, but okay, keyboard's working. Whatever. That's strange.
It's because you're making fun of people.
Shit, I can't. I can switch screens now, but it's a pain in the ass. Actually, can I even? I don't even know how. But which way you want to go, Harley?
Hot dog.
And I'm gonna disagree and give it to Hot Song for Nowhere. I thought that was a little bit better song, but that means that Lisa's a tiebreaker. Is it Hot Dog or Hot Song for Nowhere?
And I've got my Hot Song for Nowhere.
Which means Hot Song for Nowhere is moving into the next round. And hopefully we can take out the fucking song that's in it, going against it. But
I'm sorry.
That means that means that Glen gets started the next matchup. And it's the epic Carousel Umbra rough mix versus Rock and Roll the Sunset Sound mix.
Oh man. Rock and Roll Sunset Sound mix. Yeah.
All right. And which way you want to go, Harley?
Rock and Roll.
Yeah, I am going to disagree 100%. I love the epic Carousel Umbra. I think it's a freaking amazing song. And my mouse still won't freaking work. What the freak here? This is pissing me off now. But which way do you want to go, Lisa?
Well, I'm going against the grain because I'm an absolute carousel. I have carousel horses. I have carousel animals. I have carousels. But I got to go with Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix on this one.
Which means Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix is moving on. But which way would you have gone, Phil?
Yeah, I agree with Lise on that one.
And that means that I am once again on an island for that one. But I will make sure that Carousel Umbra is in the fucking podcast release form of this. Trust me on that. But
I'm sure there's another version coming up.
Songs I want to win are usually what I put into the fucking where I actually have choices to put into the podcast. I put those, but
okay.
But this one, the next matchup gets started off by Harley, and it's the Battle of Evermore, the mandolin guitar mix from Heatley Garage, or 10 Ribs and All Carrot Pod reference mix.
The first one.
Battle of Evermore? Okie dokie. And which way? This is actually a tough one for me. I like both these a lot. But I gotta go with the Battle of Evermore. Mandolin in a fucking song just makes it epic. Epic, epic, epic. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
I'm going to go with the Battle of Evermore as well. Like you said, I like the slightly medieval leaning that doesn't go all the way to Jethro Tull land.
I mean, I don't know if anybody here has ever watched. I mean, I love some mythical fucking music, but if anyone ever watched F is for Family, that's kind of the band the older brother is trying to start, is like a band that does songs like that.
Yeah.
I remember. I did,
but
never finished it. But
I think I finished it. I unless they put out another season I didn't know about. But
there's I don't think we watched the very last season yet. The one after she had the baby.
My mouse is working. I could see your faces again. Yay! But I couldn't switch screens for like a few minutes there. But the Battle Evermore does move on. But Phil, which way would you have gone?
Well, I feel like Led Zeppelin was kind of unique in that the musicianship. I mean, every member of the band is really considered among the top
in their field.
Yeah, Bonzo, and I feel like 10 Ribs feet gives a little more highlight onto John Paul Jones and Bonzo. It edges out the Battle of Evermore, which I also love. So longer answer than you needed for one that doesn't count.
No,
Especially for round 2.
I'll take long answers, especially for the next minute or so while I go see a man about a pony for a second. But which way would you have gone, Glenn?
Well, to be honest, I had to Google the second song, so I was the odd one on that one. I like the mandolin, yeah. So I had to Google that. I didn't recognize that one. So
Just for your instance, I had not recognized about 80% of these songs. So
yeah, well, I mean, some of them.
But I'm not a Zeppelin aficionado like he is.
Well, yeah. Well, but like he was saying, every one of them had such talent. So
Right.
I mean that was one of the key things to the band. So and
Well, I mean, if you follow Jack Black lore, they had the Pick of Destiny, but
So what's moving on?
oh, the Battle of Evermore is moving on 4-1, buddy. But, as if it wasn't going to. But the other side of round 2 can get started off by me, and it's if it keeps on raining, the rough mix versus 4 Sticks, and I got to give it to 4 Sticks because I'd rather get beaten by 4 Sticks than keep listening to If It Keeps on Raining, the rough mix. So, yeah. I'll go with the 4 Sticks. Which way you want to go, Lisa?
I think I'm going with the 4 Stick. No, oh, okay. No, it's not the Battle of Evermore. Is it the rain song we're talking about?
No, If It Keeps on Raining.
If It Keeps on Raining. On my list.
I must have deleted it by accident.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to wing it.
I'm going to go with the 4 Sticks. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. Fuck me. I'm sorry. I was looking at the first round matchup. I didn't look at the second round matchup for this.
Okay.
It's 4 Sticks versus the Immigrant Song alternate mix, and
definitely the Immigrant Song.
But I mean, I'm still gonna go 4 Sticks because I do not like the alternate mix of the Immigrant Song.
Okay.
Which, just so everybody knows, there are 5 versions. Okay, no, there's 4 versions of the Immigrant Song on this bracket. There's 2 live.
The bracket where all the versions, like it's put in alphabetical order, and all the versions are. That might be my OCD talking. Never mind.
Well, that also wouldn't matter because they're not most of the time the alternate versions will not be facing each other in the same ever. I mean, it's low probability unless they would have to all win their parts of the brackets to even face each other. So it's low probability. But which way you want to go, Phil? 4 Sticks or the alternate mix of the Immigrant Song?
I'm gonna go with the Immigrant Song.
I will say though, we will not be seeing the original version of the Immigrant Song until the last part, obviously.
I like Glen's trivia about Bonham playing with 4 drum sticks. I never knew that story. That's cool.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense to what 4 Sticks means, but which way we want to go, Glenn? 4 Sticks or the alternate mix of the Immigrant Song?
Man, that's a tough one, but I'm going to go with 4 Sticks because of the talent it took with it. So, yeah.
Well, Harley, you're about to have a tough time, just like I'm giving you 4 Sticks. But you're the tiebreaker. Which way you want to go? Oh, did I say Sticks?
Song.
And unfortunately, the worst version of the Immigrant Song moves on. But that means that the next matchup is going to get started off by Lisa. And it is going to be the Rain Song, mix minus piano, versus Friends.
The Rain Song, mix minus piano. I liked the minus piano part.
I feel like that's what was missing to make me like it, but I could be wrong. Which way you want to go, Phil?
I'm gonna go with the Rain Song.
And Glenn, which way you want to go?
The Rain Song.
Which means the Rain Song is moving on.
Sorry. I know you don't like that.
I'll get to why I don't like it in a minute with these, but Harley, which way you want to go?
The Rain Song and what else?
Friends.
The Rain Song.
You sound like you need a minute.
I personally voted against both of these in the first round. So, but I mean, so Rain Song already moved on, so it doesn't really matter what I think at all. But out of these two, I would actually have to give it to Friends because it almost had that Beatles-like guitar in the middle, which was different. So, but it doesn't matter what I think on this one. The next matchup is going to get started off by Phil. And it's Dazed and Confused live in 1972, or Your Time Is Going to Come, the 1990 remaster.
I got that really close, so I'm gonna go with Your Time Is Going to Come. I just feel like that's
Glenn. Okay, actually, before Glenn goes, does somebody have like notifications popping up in their freaking computer and it's catching the sound of the notifications?
It may be me.
Okay, I'm like I keep looking at my freaking screen, expecting like a messenger to pop up or something. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like I'm like, and I don't want all this shit going through to my freaking actual podcast release. But I was like, what the hell is this noise? But anyway, Glenn, is it the live Dazed and Confused or Your Time Is Going to Come, the remaster?
Think the remaster. And that's a tough one. That's why I guess that's why it made it this far. So yeah.
Oh no, it only made it through one matchup so far. But Harley, which way you want to go?
Dazed and Confused.
And I am gonna so happily get rid of that fucking horrible version of Dazed and Confused. And I will put Your Time Is Gone. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Yeah, well, Your Time Is Gone, Dazed and Confused. That's what I was thinking of. But Your Time Is Gonna Come does move on because that was an amazing song. And Dazed and Confused, I'm pretty sure, is on here. Look at that. Dazed and Confused is on here 8 times in total. So yeah, it'll have another day. It'll have another day with different versions. So, or like 8 more days possibly. But which way would you have gone, Lisa?
Your Time Is Coming. Yeah.
And that means the final matchup in round 2 is going to get started off by Glenn. And it's 2 originals against each other. It's In My Time of Dying or Dancing Days.
Oh man. In My Time of Dying. And
Harley?
I don't have a reason why. They're both good. So
What were they?
Harley? In My Time of Dying or Dancing Days?
Which version of In My Time of Dying?
It's the originals of both.
Live in London.
Okay. Yeah.
Dancing Days.
Oh.
And I'm about to get that big fat yep, because that freaking guitar medley in the middle of Dancing Days is fucking phenomenal. So I gotta give it to Dancing Days. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
I gotta give it to In My Time of Dying. Yeah.
And in what is possibly the hardest matchup so far in this bracket, Phil's the tiebreaker.
In My Time of Dying.
Not the way I want you to break it, but
we're here to break things.
Including my expectations and hopes. But that means In My Time of Dying is moving on. And round 2 is officially over. Yeah, now we're making time. And because Harley has to go watch her Men in Tights. But
no, I got it on my phone watching it, so you're good.
The first few matches always suck anyway. But
is that a pay-per-view or is it a
PLE?
They don't do pay-per-view anymore. It's either on Netflix or Peacock.
It's PLEs, premium live experiences. But unlike the days where me and my friends used to each have to chip in $5 to get my parents to buy it, but for $50. But that means that the quarterfinals get started off by Harley, and it's In My Time of Dying live at the O2 Arena in London, or Hot's On for Nowhere reference mix.
In My Time of Dying.
Yeah, I'm 100% disagree with you. I still don't like that live version. And for me, it's Hot's On for Nowhere. That's a good song. Even the reference mix is good. Which I still don't understand what reference mix is fully. Even after reading the Google page on it, I'm still not 100% sure what the hell reference mix is. I guess it's just they leave out certain parts and they use it for recording purposes. I don't freaking get it. But, well, actually, that makes sense with the reference mix. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
In My Time of Dying.
And Phil, which way you want to go?
Yep.
Which means In My Time of Dying is moving the fuck on, motherfucker. But
And Jeremy, the first match tonight is Gunther versus Pat McAfee, the announcer, because Gunther choked out Pat McAfee.
I know. I've seen the reels of it. Yeah.
Is that on Peacock?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Gunther's gonna fucking destroy, but we'll see. I doubt it. I don't watch wrestling anymore, so I really don't pay attention.
Well, the rumor is Brock Lesnar's coming back because Gunther talked crap about his children.
And once again, I am so happy I don't watch wrestling anymore. But I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I'd like to watch fucking movies for podcasts. For God's sake, you think I have time for 6-7 hours a week of fucking wrestling at minimum? But which way would you have gone, Glenn? In My Time of Dying or Hot's On for Nowhere?
I think the old people are going to stick together and go with In My Time of Dying. So,
well, I mean, the fact that old people want to stick together on that song is pretty.
You know,
you're wrong. This is not lost on me. But
I could do like the Doors. This is the end. So,
y'all set yourselves up for that one. I'm just saying. But that means I get to start the next matchup, and it's Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix versus the Battle of Evermore mandolin guitar mix from Headley Garage, and I gotta go with fucking Battle of Evermore. That version of that song is epic. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
I actually like Rock and Roll better.
I do too, but not that version. But Phil, which way you want to go?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm not usually so anal, but it's not Headley Garage. It's Headley Grange. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be pretentious.
He doesn't think he's usually that anal. He believes that.
Well, okay. First things first. No comment on the whole anal thing on that. You say it, my mind goes there. I can't help that.
Yeah.
But
well, because it's so Headley Grange is like, I think it was featured in that. Do you ever see that movie that Jack White and Jimmy Page and The Edge from U2? It was called It Might Get Loud. I think they visited Headley Grange during that Jimmy Page's segment. And he talks about, they go into the cottage and they show, well, this is where Led Zeppelin 4 was, we did When the Levee Breaks right here in this hallway because we got the echo coming off of the stairwell and all this bullshit. It's really integral to the story of Led Zeppelin. So
I will say this much: I actually enjoyed the documentary, which is not my cup of tea normally.
I mean, I'm actually fixing my spelling because apparently I just copied it wrong. Because I just looked at Spotify and I'm like, oh fuck, he's right. I copied it wrong. Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So back to the point at hand here. I'm going to go with the Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix.
And Evermore with everything he's got.
Which way you want to go, Glenn?
Oh, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with Rock and Roll.
Knocking out Battle of Evermore finally. But which way you want to go, Harley?
The one that had Mandalorian in it.
Mandolin? If any of these songs had a Mandalorian in them, I would fucking hope it would win the whole fucking grand finale of this bracket, for fuck's sake.
Sorry, I'm
But
multitasking here.
get Pedro Pascal out of your damn head. God damn it. But
Actually, it's Randy Orton. Thank you very much.
he just has that dad bod now. That's all built and shit. So yeah. But that means, and I'm not gonna lie, it gives me a lot of pleasure to watch Randy Orton RKOing John Cena in reels again. It really does give me a lot of pleasure because I always hated John Cena. But and he's a little bitch as a heel. But that means the next matchup on the other side of the quarterfinals gets started off by Lisa, and it's the Immigrant Song alternate mix versus the Rain Song mix minus piano.
I gotta go with the Rain Song. It just scored higher.
And which way you want to go, Phil?
Yeah, I want to stick with the Rain Song also.
And Glenn?
I'm gonna go with the Immigrant Song. I just like that one. Sorry.
Hey.
Well, I like them both. They were just.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
And Harley?
The Rain Song.
And
everybody's been calling John Cena out that he's become a bitch since he became heel.
It's a point of the storyline they write for him. But I was hoping I'd get a tiebreaker on this, though I don't know why, because I voted against both these songs the whole fucking way through. But I don't know. I'll fucking throw another one to the Immigrant Song because why the fuck not? I didn't like either of these songs. But Rain Song moves on. And the last matchup in the quarterfinals is going to get started off by Phil. And it's Your Time Is Going to Come 1990 Remaster versus In My Time of Dying OG.
So, In My Time of Dying, you said OG? You mean the
yep. Original version.
Studio version? The original version?
Yep, studio.
Okay,
yep.
So In My Time of Dying.
And Glenn, which way you want to go?
Let's keep it OG here.
And Harley?
The other one that's not In My Time of Dying.
Your Time Is Gonna Come, which I give that a big fat yep, because I love that song. I like it a lot better than freaking In My Time of Dying, even though that is a good song. But which way? Well, actually, you are the tiebreaker, Lisa. Which way do you want to go?
My time has come.
So you're gonna okay.
Yeah, your time is gonna come.
Your Time Is Gonna Come moves on to the semifinals as the last song to move into the final four songs. And Phil just straight up says, "Yeah, your time's gonna come." But
devastating blow.
Is it though? I mean, we have a lot more songs of this band to go through, so. But the quarterfinals are officially over at this point, and the semifinals can begin with the left side, and it's going to be number 112 ranked In My Time of Dying live from the O2 Arena in London versus number 107 ranked Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix, and it's going to get started off by Glenn.
How about Rock and Roll Sunset Mix?
And Harley?
Yep.
And yes, I will finally get rid of this fucking 15-minute version of In My Time of Dying. Actually, no, I know that. I'm thinking of a different song. But yeah, I wasn't a fan in My Time of Dying live. So I'll get rid of it, and Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix can move on. Though In My Time of Dying we'll get another chance in the third and fourth place matchup. But I'll go with Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix. And before I ask Lisa which way she went, I forgot to point this out already, but I will say these songs are actually ranked by the amount of plays they have all time on Spotify.
Oh,
Okay.
So that's why when I found this source for rankings, I was like, oh my God, this is the ultimate source for rankings because this is by the world. The world has made these rankings. So
I like it.
it's not just whoever goes to this site to happen to vote for these rankings. It's literally what the world listens to on Spotify. So I found that pretty impressive. So that's why these rankings are
I like
pretty
that
on point.
for sure.
Well, but what about the old people that don't use Spotify? I mean, I'm not one of them, but
I mean, then they don't matter. They don't matter any. I mean, if people use iTunes,
you're putting us in a nursing home. I see how it is.
I mean, it also doesn't count people who use Apple Music or people who use Pandora or any other streaming service. But Spotify is the biggest streaming service for music in the world. I'm pretty sure. So it's a good base. It's a good base. But which way would you have gone, Lisa?
Yep.
I only use Spotify for your podcast. I use Apple Music for everything else.
I used to, but then to listen to podcasts. At that point, you still can't listen to Apple Podcasts on an Android device. So when I started driving around and listening to podcasts for my job, I had to freaking switch to something. I used Stitcher at first, and then I had to switch to Spotify eventually, and that's when I became a Spotify person. But
I like Spotify.
And plus, if I actually used Apple Music for these bracket playlists, nobody would be able to listen to them unless they had Apple subscriptions. So, I mean, Spotify, at least you can see it without a subscription. But that Phil, which way would you have gone? In My Time of Dying or Rock and Roll?
Well, I In My Time of Dying, by a nose, by a hair.
And that means the other side of the semifinals gets started off by Harley, and it's going to be the number 170 ranked The Rain Song, Mix Minus Piano, or number 51 ranked Your Time Is Going to Come, the 1990 remaster.
Your time is going to come.
And I get that a big fat threats, baby girl, threats. But I gotta agree with you though. Your Time Is Going to Come is way, 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 way better than The Rain Song. This version, at least. I haven't heard other versions, so I'm not going to be a broad judge of that. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
Your Time Is Going to Come.
Which means The Rain Song officially booted the fuck out of this shit. And Your Time Is Going to Come moves into the finals. But which way would you have gone, Phil?
I'm along the party lines with this one. Your Time Is Going to Come.
And Glenn, which way would you have gone?
I believe it's going to be unanimous then.
A sweep indeed in the semifinals of all places. Who would have thunk it? But especially when people were fighting so hard for that song in the last round. What the fuck? But whatever.
Yeah, this is quite a development. I didn't expect it to go this way.
But it was against a different song.
So. That means that Harley gets to start. I mean, not Harley. I get to start off the third and fourth place matchup, and it's going to be In My Time of Dying live at O2 Arena London versus The Rain Song, Mix Minus Piano. And I will actually vote for The Rain Song on this one because it's still better than that live. But which way you want to go, Lisa?
I guess The Rain Song.
And Phil?
I'm going to hang in there with In My Time of Dying.
And Glenn?
Oddball. I'm going to go with The Rain Song.
Which means The Rain Song does take third place for this part of the bracket, with pushing My Time of Dying live into fourth place. But which way would you have gone, Harley?
The Rain Song.
And that means that, well, since it's the finals, I'm going to let Phil start it off. And it's going to be number 107 ranked Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix versus number 51 ranked Your Time Is Going to Come, the 1990 remaster.
I'm going to just because I really, really love the sound of that recording. I probably like Your Time Is Going to Come better than Rock and Roll as a song, but I'm going to go with Rock and Roll. It's just a really good cut.
And Glenn, which way you want to go?
I think I got to agree with him. Rock and Roll, yeah.
And Harley?
Your Time Will Come.
And I'm going to go with Your Time Is Going to Come as well, because I think it's a way better version of the song. But you're the tiebreaker in the final, Lisa. Which way do you want to go?
Once again, geezers roll, rock and roll.
Which means, folks, that the final four for this bracket are going to be in fourth place, number 112 ranked In My Time of Dying, live from the O2 Arena in London. In third place, number 170 ranked The Rain Song, mixed minus piano. In second place, number 51 ranked Your Time Is Going to Come from the 1990 remaster. And in first place, number 107 ranked Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix. And I find it funny that nowhere near the highest ranked song in this part won. That's the best part of this. But it was also
Once again, the people fix the problem.
That's right.
But it also wasn't. It also was nowhere near the lowest ranked song in this part. So kind of in the middle. But we'll see what happens next time, because in 2 weeks we are going to have part 2 of this, and some of the same songs again, but also a bunch of a few new songs thrown into it as well. So actually, a good amount of new songs. So it'll be a good mix in 2 weeks. But that'll do it for this part of the bracket, and we'll see whoever wins next week will face Rock and Roll Sunset Sound Mix in a grand finale matchup for those two parts. I figure that's easier than having like a 7-song battle at the end of the last part. But where can they find you, Glenn?
Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place. I do a daily news show from 1 till 3 on my channel, the Paranormal Guys with a Z. And then I also have the Paranormal Guys. I had a sex therapist here, but you should have tuned in. You could have got some good pointers. She brought puppets.
I don't need no fucking puppets. Thank you.
It's got to be careful where you put your hands. So that was a good. We do that Wednesday night at 9, and of course you can find me actually playing music on the Thin Line Rock Stations Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do the lunch from noon till 2. And probably some other places that I don't remember, but
nobody remembers being in the asylum. We give them a dose for that. But Harley, speaking of the asylum, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Asylum with Harley and Joker and the Mod Squad Network and here, and the new show me and Glenn's going to start here soon.
That's right. I forgot about that. The reaction video. I'm just trying to figure out how to not get copyrighted. So
we need to talk, Harley, but and Glenn, but Lisa and Phil, where can they find you?
At pod. That's our handle for all the socials. If you want to find us on your favorite podcasting or podcast app, it's
pod.
Yeah.
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 That's it.
Best course ever. Best course ever.
Otherwise,
folks, you can find your musers. Oh, wherever the fuck the other one may be, because she hasn't made a bracket yet, but hopefully that'll change soon. But and it's tulip time in Iowa, so she won't be on for May. But which I've made enough dirty jokes about tulip time in the past. I don't need to go on that rant again. But you can find both of us on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot, a bipedal Sasquatch streamer Arcturians to read and use Facebook, and he likes to promote our show. Don't know why. But you can find us there, and you can find us on XX Baby in the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. You can find us on TikTok as that Juggalo Bastard Podcast, even though I just deleted that off my phone because it was taken to a space. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings. the only place to see everything we've done from 2.5 years forward. But until next time, folks, be sure to check out our regular episodes every Tuesday at 9 p.m. East, and come back in 2 weeks to see part 2 of the Led Zeppelin bracket. Until then, thank you all 72 people who are watching currently, and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.